morning, everyone.
Good morning.
In the New Testament, there are very few of the incidences where Jesus was connecting with people that are all referenced by the four Gospels. One of those happens to be with the feeding of the 5,000. And the story goes that Jesus left with his disciples from one place, the Sea of Galilee, and went across to the Sea of Tigris. And a multitude followed him. And when they reached this location, Jesus turned to his disciples and said, "What are we going to do to take care of these people? How are we going to feed them?" And one of his disciples says, "Well, we have a little bit of money here, but I don't think it's going to quite take care of. It looks like we have about 5,000 people here." And then another one came forward and said, "There's a young boy here who he's got 5 barley loaves and 2 fishes." And Jesus said, "Have them sit." And it was a grassy area, so it was quite compatible. So this multitude of people sat down. Jesus called the boy forth and took the 5 loaves of bread. And he took the 2 fishes, and he raised his eyes and said, "Thank you." Blessed them, and proceeded to break them. The story goes that everybody was served, and afterwards he said, "Okay, I want you to bring all of what's left over, because I don't want to have anything not used here." And there were 12 baskets, the remnants of what the people did not have. All of them, when this happened, they turned to each other and said, "We are in the midst of a prophet. We are in the midst of someone who is of God." This is a gigantic, truly memorable metaphysical experience, revealing these metaphysical teachings of Jesus. As I said, this is one of the very few things in the life of Jesus which is dealt with in great detail by all 4 Gospels, but this that we're making reference to now comes from the book of John, because John dealt with the purely esoteric or metaphysical meaning. So to get a better appreciation of this, let's look and see, what does bread in the Bible mean? It means spiritual substance. What does the number 5 mean? 5 loaves. It makes reference to man's current 5 senses. And the fish in the Bible always refers to ideas. If they were fish handled by Jesus Christ, then they had to be divine ideas. The number 2 in the Bible makes reference to always for polarity or duality. That we have 5,000 hungry people. 5,000 was a symbolic number. Always zeros following the number in the Bible means that whatever the number stands for is now being referred to in an unlimited or an unspecified way. So we have 5,000 hungry. 5, the natural sense man, unlimited and unspecified hunger being brought forth in this story. In other words, this represents all the needs, the responsibilities, the desires and longings of the natural self. It's only the natural man who could be hungry. Hence the title of today's lecture. He who hungers and thirsts after righteousness is not Christ, but is of the human awareness. So, look at this in a form of opening recognition and appreciation for who Jesus Christ is, was, and perhaps is continuing in his unfoldment. Here is an individual who recognized an intimate relationship within with what he called the God within. He, in this basis of recognition, knew that he had all that he needed. He had no want for anything. And that all of these who came forward and presented themselves with their hunger, their need, he knew that he of himself could do nothing, but that he could go to the source within him, make connection there, and the source within him would bring forth all that was necessary. And in essence, he's giving us an example of who we are if we will have the same recognition of ourselves. For then we come to a place of seeing that the only thing that can take care of all of the needs and the hungers and do it right now, when it's needed right now, is our spiritual nature, the Christ within. Because you have to begin this feeding of yourself and others from where you are with what you've got. You can't wait until later. It has to be now that you come to that realization. And in the now of that realization, have that awareness dawn within you that you have all that you need. So we see that Jesus wasn't concerned with what we have for tomorrow. He's talking about, this is what I bring to you right here, right now. So we start with this and we see the bread, the spiritual substance. It is all awaiting our recognition. And we have the recognition that it is coming to us, through our five physical senses, which right now, most of us only see in their capacity to see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We open up and we see the recognition that was revealed by Jesus was, I open myself and I look up to heaven. I open myself and I am open to the recognition that I have of my connection, my intimate connection with Source itself. I recognize this as my true source. He then, for the sake and the benefit of others that they may grasp it and enter into a recognition of it, gave thanks and blessed it. This was his natural response to it. And if you look at the life of Jesus, you come to see, here was a man without ego. Here was a man who simply lived in the present moment, and in the present moment was receptive to it. So in this we learn, as we awaken, to handle our senses with a spiritual awareness. We become aware of the fact that our senses really are spiritual in origin, in character, and in purpose. Then we come to the place of, what about these divine ideas that Jesus was able to recognize? What is this that is the number two within all of us? The recognition of where we are, either we open ourselves up to and say yes, or where we are and we see what is coming forward, we recognize and accept it and say no. Very clear, very distinct, very open and receptive. So we begin to see that if we allow ourselves to have this awakening spiritual awareness, we're going to open up and see that we are in harmony with life, and we're able to express our harmony through what would appear to be a control of these ideas, and not be caught up in the anxiety of, am I right, am I wrong, is this good, is this bad? We are in a place of knowingness. Instead of, as we so often see now, a consciousness which is looking for the latest gimmicks and techniques to get, and it's about me, we realize that at a deeper level, there's a part of us that is awaiting our recognition, to assure us in that recognition that we have all that we need. Never ever are we with a sense of neediness. So we look and we see the contrast is being shown in the story. And the contrast of the 5,000 and all of their needs who do hunger and thirst, and the one with a recognition of source within, who realizes, I have all that I need. All is well. I live in this state of at-one-ment, and in this state of at-one-ment, I am able to be present here now, knowing it is good. Thank you very much.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.